Your manager might tell you you're doing great and give you more responsibility, but when the promotion list actually comes out, your name is missing. Maybe it's a simple miscommunication, or maybe your manager has become comfortable keeping you where you are. Either way, you need to know if they are secretly stopping you from moving up. You cannot afford to wait another promotion cycle to see. Here are the 3 signs your manager is holding back your promotion. The first sign is that your manager praises you in private, but stays silent in public. In your one-to-ones, they'll say you're doing brilliantly, or you're operating at the next level, and they genuinely mean it. But here's the question. Where does that praise go when you're not in the room? Promotion decisions are shaped in promotion meetings and leadership discussions, places you aren't invited to. That's where someone needs to explain why your work matters. If your manager can't describe how they're positioning you for progression elsewhere, then you have appreciation without advocacy. And those are not the same thing. Praise feels good. Advocacy changes outcomes. Private praise tells you how your manager feels about your work. The next sign tells you whether your career is actually on the agenda or just an afterthought. The second sign is that it's always you who raises the subject first. You mention promotion and your manager says, absolutely, that's something we can look at. You ask about your future and they say, you're definitely on the right path. You ask what the next level requires, and they give you another general answer about just keep doing what you're doing. But months pass, the promotion cycle arrives, and nothing changes. Then you discover that other people, they've already been discussed, considered, or put forward, while your name was never seriously part of the conversation. This is where a lot of high-performing professionals get caught. They assume because they're performing well, progress naturally follows. But performance is only one part of promotion. There's also things like impact, visibility, perception, and advocacy. If nobody is ever actually connecting your work to the next level, your performance can get trapped in your current role. And I know this one personally. When I was at the Big Four, I was working towards a senior manager promotion. I'd had conversations about my career, where I wanted to go, and I knew that my performance and trajectory were visible. But then I took a career break. Because of the timing and how everything wrapped up, I missed some of those final feedback conversations that would naturally happen around progression. Eventually, I did find out that I had not been put forward and I wasn't being considered. And that's a difficult part, the gap between what you think is happening and then what is actually happening behind the scenes. And that's an important lesson. Being good at your job can get your name in the room, but someone has to advocate for you. Now, there's one more sign that can look positive on the surface. Your manager gives you more responsibility and they tell you it proves that they trust you. The next one is where trust can become a bit of an excuse. The third sign is that your responsibility keeps increasing, but your title, pay, or formal level do not. You start handling more complex clients. You take responsibility for important projects. You train new employees. You become the person people rely on when something goes wrong. And every time you take on more, your manager says, "This shows how much we trust you." Sometimes that's true. Additional responsibility can be a genuine development opportunity, but responsibility by itself is not progression. The important question is whether that additional responsibility comes with a clear path to recognition. Are you being given a defined target? Is there a timeline? Has your manager explained what level you are now operating at? Has there been a conversation about your title or compensation? Or are you simply given more work because you've proven you'll absorb it? This is the difference between development and simply absorbing more work. Development is a path to the next level. More work is more work. If your responsibilities are growing but your title isn't, you aren't being promoted, you're potentially getting taken advantage of. At some point, "they trust me" stops being the explanation and starts becoming the excuse. Trust is needed to get promoted, but trust alone is not a promotion plan. So what do these 3 signs actually tell you? They don't automatically prove your manager dislikes you. They may genuinely value you. They may even believe you're talented. But liking your work is not the same as them spending their reputation capital on your career. A manager can appreciate your contribution and still avoid advocating for you. They may be comfortable with you where you are. They may be worried about replacing you. They may not believe you're ready. But your career cannot depend on not knowing which it is. So ask yourself 3 questions. What is my manager saying about me when I'm not present? What specific evidence do they believe is missing for the next level? What action are they actually taking to move me toward that level? That final question matters most because the difference between a supportive manager and a passive manager is often visible in their actions. Do they create opportunities for you? Do they introduce you to senior people? Do they give you useful feedback before the promotion cycle? Do they make your achievements visible, or do they simply give you more work and tell you you're doing well? Effort is not the variable here. Alignment is. You need your work, your reputation, and your manager's advocacy to point in the same direction. If you want to find out what your manager actually thinks of you, take my free 2-minute quiz linked in the description. It'll help you understand where you really stand beyond what your manager tells you directly. I'm Jag Dhaliwal. Let's keep getting into the subtext, and I'll see you next week.